like history, you don't have to lie, because I know that you don't. This is because that you don't have the context of the era from the people who actually lived through it. You have a lot of words, big textbooks, and McGraw-Hill's. I've come in to solve this problem. I'm going to tell you everything about the last 20 years that currently led up to me being in this bunker. Okay, before we jump in, you're going to need to remember a couple key people: Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Kanye West. Alright, let's get into it.
This land is your land. This land is mine.
Starting off with some context, George W. Bush is the president right now, and everybody wants him not to be. Hurricane Katrina affected the entire United States, South, and New Jersey apparently. Bush became a scapegoat for the hurricane because he did little to help with the event. The Iraq war is getting way out of hand, and everybody wants it to end. Also, we're in a humongous financial crisis. The housing bubble burst and nobody can afford anything. All of these combined, Bush's approval rating was at a solid 25. Republicans were not popular at this time, and the Democrats happened to elect one of the coolest human beings of all time to be the president.
Change, I said, I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said, yes, we can. I said, I wanna ride you.
To start off his presidency, Obama helped drag us out of the recession. He lowered the income disparity in the United States, and he lowered the federal budget deficit. He launched the Affordable Health Care Act, which provided millions of Americans with Medicare and Medicaid. He entered America into the Paris Agreement, which would help lower carbon emissions. He was responsible for the military team, which helped kill Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, who was responsible for 9/11. Under Obama, the GDP rose and the stock market recovered. Gen Z is starting to gain consciousness during this era. Social media, along with the internet as a whole, becomes a source of news. iPhones and other Apple products are starting to become the mainstream. Technology overall is upgrading. Kanye was notable in this time for interrupting the VMAs and saying that the video award should have gone to Beyonce instead of Taylor Swift. The Obama administration is widely regarded as good. We were out of the Great Recession, GDP was on the rise, technology was advancing, there was agreements to combat pollution, and there was no possible way that anybody can mess this up. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but Donald Trump won the electoral, and for some reason, he became the president. Trump was focused on deregulation, tax cuts, an American first ideology where with treaties he would place America in the most importance and not get anything done. He pulled out of the Paris Agreement. He was impeached twice. Silver lining, the economy continued to grow because of Obama's policy lag until COVID-19. Before COVID, things weren't that much different than Obama's term, except that every morning he would say something stupid on TV and CNN would talk about it. During his campaign, he was adamant that the United States would build a wall in between themselves and Mexico, and that Mexico would pay for it. It did not get done. Trump didn't get a lot done during his term, and he was impeached twice, so there's no possible way that he could ever come back and make things even worse. Before we get into that, we need to get into...
It has to come from the same virus to be in the same family. Viruses come in families. What the hell?
The economy completely burst and inflation went crazy. At the beginning of the pandemic, people were hoarding toilet paper and other things that you cannot eat. DoorDash and other sites rose because people couldn't go outside. Everybody was stuck inside and had to wear masks when they were let outside. Everybody was very bored inside their houses and began canceling people because what else are we gonna do? Kanye contracted COVID-19, said the vaccine was the mark of the beast and you would go to hell if you got it. He also said that it paralyzed children. But during this time, America had two candidates who both had very sound and smart ideas on how to drag us out of this pandemic. Joe Biden beat Donald Trump, and Trump decided that he actually didn't lose and that it was rigged, and he decided to launch an insurrection. To start off his presidency, Joe Biden was big on vaccinations and urged that everybody would be vaccinated. He attempted to boost the economy by issuing stimulus checks. Inflation was still very high. Biden was big on diplomacy and attempted to ease relations that Donald Trump had torn. Political divides grew and people began cutting off family members based off of who they voted for. Bipartisanship fell as well, and Democrats and Republicans hate each other. Term Sleepy Joe Biden gained momentum, and people would make fun of Joe Biden's worsening mental health. Kanye West endorsed Hitler. Thankfully, towards the end of this term, the effects of COVID-19 were beginning to loosen. The vaccine had more or less lessened the effect of the virus, and things could finally go back to normal where we elect a president that everybody can trust. You know I'm lying at this point.
Let me kill him! How would you kill him like that?
We re-elected that guy that got impeached 2 times. During his campaign, Trump said some not very true things. Promised to end all the wars going on. Promised to crack down on immigration legally. And as of the time of recording this, and probably forever, he hasn't done any of those. I actually have a list of some of the accomplishments that Trump has had since he's been president, and it's been less than 200 days. Stock market crash, tariff war with China, war with Harvard for whatever reason, attempting to end the Ukraine war to no effect, attempting to end the Pakistan war to no effect, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and everybody's listening to that and taking it very seriously, ignoring NAFTA, crazy deportations without due process, ignoring Supreme Court, and telling West Point graduates not to get trophy wives. Also, Kanye West has fallen so far off the deep end, I can't talk about what he's done without getting an F on this project. TikTok's become the largest social media platform, AI is becoming a thing, and people want AI movies to be a thing, which I think is a horrible idea. Political divides are larger than ever. Every day Trump says something stupid and we forget about it because the next day he says something even dumber. Right now, nobody really knows what's going on, and they kind of want it to end. In conclusion, due to the pandemic and having Donald Trump as a president for more than 18 seconds has led to America falling off the deep end and nobody knows what is going on. Kanye West is a parallel for the state of America, and if we re-elect Obama, he'll make another graduation.